Welcome to Moving It Forward, where we check in with Nelson Mayor Aldo Miccio out and about in the Nelson community. Today we are down at the Bridge Street Collective Cafe in Nelson in celebration of Mother's Day. Joining Aldo and myself today is his wife Kim and his mother Christina. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Aldo, what inspired you to invite local mums along to talk to you today?
Well, being Mother's Day, it's important that we recognise the contribution that mothers make in our community. And so what other more appropriate time could it be to actually get out there and talk with mums? Because mums and grandmums, it's about the children, about the future that they see for Nelson. So it's probably one of those views that probably doesn't get a lot of media attention, is about the mothers and grandparents that have the best interest for their children at heart, or their grandchildren at heart, and what they actually want for them, what they want for their future of Nelson for their children.
Now, yourself and Kim have 3 children, so the future of Nelson as a thriving city must be of importance to you.
Yeah, critical importance. It's probably one of the underlying reasons why I stood for council in 2007 and stood for mayor in 2010. It's about wanting to ensure that this place, Nelson, is somewhere that our kids can have a future in. It's important that we ensure a lot of kids will leave town and they'll go to university or go overseas or go for jobs in other cities, but to make Nelson a place that has the actual opportunities that they can actually come back to. So jobs are really important, education is really important, and things like that, and actually providing facilities and pathways so that our kids can actually fulfil their potential.
Exactly, all important things. So what initiatives does Council have in place to ensure that happens?
Well, we're working on a lot of projects. We've been doing things like championing the NMIT and helping them with their partnerships with the universities and the like. We also have facilities, whether it be ensuring that the School of Music can actually provide the education opportunities for kids, whether it be Theatre Royal for drama, whether it be Saxon Field for sport, so actually providing those pathways for them. And also jobs. We're working on contact centres, bringing 300, 400, 500, 70,000 plus paying jobs to Nelson. All those things around education and jobs and providing opportunities for kids here in Nelson.
Christina, Nelson must have changed a lot over the years. Can you tell us about the opportunities or lack of opportunities when Aldo was growing up?
Yes, it has changed over the years. What our concern was at the time was there'd be nowhere to study for him here, so he had to go away. But with the Polytech now having more courses and offering degrees with these courses, it's a lot better. But to bring it up to the standard of other centres in New Zealand, we have got to have more jobs and more activities for the young ones to keep them here.
Exactly. And how do you plan to spend Mother's Day this year?
We're all going for a lunch together out at one of the local restaurants, and then we'll just see how things go, and we'll progress from there.
Fabulous. And the question on everybody's lips, what was Aldo like growing up as a boy?
He was a very active little boy from his early childhood, and always on the go, and loved being out with the people and socialising. He's always been a person's people, and yes, he loves doing things for the family and for Nelson at this time.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Christina. Now we're speaking with Kim Miccio. Kim, you must hear about lots of ideas and visions for Nelson. Tell me what's most important to you as a mum.
The biggest fear I have is losing my children at 18 and actually never living in the same city as them again. I was actually fortunate enough to grow up in a city where there was jobs available for us, that we could actually earn a decent wage and live near our family and actually get to know the family or mum and dad as friends, instead of teenagers, rebellious and all the rest of the teenage years. And we formed a great friendship in my 20s with my parents, and that sort of strengthens, I suppose, where I am today with them. So for me and Aldo, I really want to see that for our children. I want to know that they can go and travel the world, work overseas, study overseas, whatever they choose to do, but know that they can come back to Nelson and actually have decent jobs here, that they can actually settle down with their families and enjoy the life that we have here, but also know that they've actually got good employment.
How are you going to spend Mother's Day this year?
Well, I'm actually not too sure. I'm hoping my family have got a big surprise in store for me, but I actually have a feeling that we're actually going out with Aldo's family, his mum and dad and his brother and sisters for the day for lunch, and I'm hoping that my little children will cook up something nice for me and deliver it to me in my bed.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have breakfast in bed. That's a must, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, but if, just the fact of being around the kids and just celebrating it together is enough for me.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
We asked Nelson mums what's most important to them for the future of their children in Nelson.
What's most important to me for the future of my children in Nelson is that Nelson retains its character of having all these opportunities at our doorsteps. The biking track just outside our door, they can bike into town, and that the character of the city still stays the same but increases its sort of city vibe.
I think what's most important to me when it comes to the future of my children here in Nelson is safety and having a really safe community, just a place where kids can play freely in the streets and just be safe.
What's important to me for my children here in Nelson is for the local council to invest in the community that encourages people to work together, and also in the environment to ensure that we've got something to pass on to our grandchildren and our children into the future.
Well, as the initiator of civics education, my priority for people of the future is that they have a fearless, free, democratic society. So it would be to be sure people have their civil and political rights.
Well, Amy, I'm from London originally. I've been in Nelson about 8 years now. I've got 2 young boys, and I'm very aware, as being English, that at some point the fascination and the draw of London will pull probably both my children back to England, and that would be amazing, and I'm sure, as boys they'll really benefit from that opportunity. But given that I've come to live in New Zealand, I hope that at some point both the children will have opportunities in Nelson to be able to return to their home and put down roots and have families and have successful careers here in Nelson.